So, okay, the day is here. We are finally in the time where we can go zoneless. So, Angular 18.5 just dropped. I think it was a couple of days ago actually, where it dropped. Let me see. Angular. So we have the latest releases. 18.5. It's not 18.5, it's 18 next 5, which is a pre-release, but we should be able to grab that. And there we can see we have an experimental zoneless change detection provider. And that's exactly what we want to take a look at. And from what I've seen, initially we thought that we can only have zoneless change detection if you first signalify your application. But it seems like from a first look that I just took before the stream, from a first look it looks like we can also use the change detection mechanism that we know from today. Like we can still bind like normal properties, but there are some criteria. It has to come from a click event. Then what else? We can still use mark for check. Signals of course are supported. Yeah, those kind of things are still possible, it seems like. And we want to play around with it a bit, we want to explore it a bit. So I would say without further ado, let's jump right into it. So, okay, let's get here. So the first thing we have to do is, let's go and we go what? npx ng zoneless. That's wrong. We should grab at Angular CLI at next new zoneless. That's next free. Why is that next free? Probably the next. Can we just go like, I think there is no other version of the CLI, I guess, than 18.3. So we are using brand new stuff. Let's even see, because I think we could also go 18.3 and then just wow, that's Friday. We could go 18.3 and probably just manually 18 next 3 and probably just manually bump to 18 next 5. That should be possible. So, okay, releases. So CLI 18 next 3, that's the latest one. So let's just go with that. Let's just go with that and generate the zoneless app. Yes, proceed. Open documents code private. How did we call it? Zoneless, right? Zoneless. And my ID crashed. Nice. That's the second time that it crashes today. I don't know what's going on there. So I'm basically trying to open my ID, which seems like highly irresponsive. Now, Here we go. Zoneless. App component. I hope it's big enough. Should be big enough. Cool. Now first we have to bump Angular. So I would say we just go, okay. So everything that is next 0, basically, next.0, we just replace that with next.5. And if we do that, we should be able to npm install. npm ls Angular core next 5. Here we go. So cool. Let's start our application. Port localhost 4200. Good. Wow. It's way too bright. Okay, so let's change the background color of the body, because that's also, I'm playing around here with the new version, a new preview version of Skull. So hope you guys like it. Oh. Actually, it should be color white because we set the color to white, but I guess the app component just has like something in it that we don't want. So hello there. Nice. Good, here we go. So now, how do we enable? So how do we enable the zoneless change detection? So what Angular now does is, let's go to our app.config and here you can already see that the 18.5, okay, the 18.5 already generates with provide zone change detection. So I guess that's the default. And what we can do is there is a provide experimental zoneless change detection. I guess we have to remove that. So once you do that, Angular will basically provide a no-op zone behind the scenes, plus a new, I don't know how it's called, let me quickly check, a new change detection scheduler impl, which will basically handle when to run appref.tick. So there's a function behind the scenes which still invokes appref.tick, which invokes the global change detection, so the change detection on the whole application. Another thing that we have to make sure is that we remove zone.js here from the polyfills. And now our application still runs. But of course we do not have anything that has to be change detected yet. So let's see what happens if we add a simple button. Click me with a click handler, and on that click handler he sets a new property to new value, and that prop, let's go with an inline template. I think that's easier than just switching always between screens. So let's go like this. We forget about that. We go prop is equal to old value. Something like that. Now, hi Esther, how are you doing? Let me bump this a bit. Yeah, Ilir, that's the pattern. Every time Madrid wins, I go live. If I would follow that pattern, I would be live all the time, you know? So actually I would have expected now we basically have the provide experimental zoneless change detection. That should basically the one that drops out zone and brings out the zoneless change detection. And now inside our app component, I mean, let's see what happens if this is a signal, right? And then we do yeah, of course. Then we do not hello there. Oh, that was so stupid. But now we do the prop. So old value, we click and we get a new value, right? So that was expected because we were always thinking that signals get change detected. If even zoneless, that was basically the thing that I thought that we have to rewrite everything to signals before we can drop out of zone. But I think it seems like this also works with non-signal value, which is some old value. And let's do like inside here we do the non-signal value is new value. And we still bind the prop, of course. I should also bind the non-signal value. And we do not call it because it's not a signal, but you can see how this still works. And that's pretty cool for backwards compatibility because I think that will fast track like the zoneless migration by quite a bit. Because imagine if you say we go zoneless, but you first have to migrate everything to signal. That will basically limit the zoneless transition for quite some people because not everybody has time to first signalify the application. But if it's at some point, hey, here you can drop out of zone and it still works more or less like, I would say for most cases it works. That would be cool. A long day, but okay, gun day. Okay, now yeah, I see. Fun day, cool. Yeah, I had a good day. Quite some work to do. CSS heavy day, or better, SAS heavy day. Was reworking some grid specifications with designers together. But I think we got it now on point. That was a pretty hardcore refactoring. Changed quite some files. But yeah, now I'm excited. Tomorrow we will go through a bigger review and then let's see. So, but this is super cool. So it seems like this works. Now let's also try some other stuff. So let's say we have a set timeout of, I don't know, maybe 2 seconds. And we do the maybe we should do initial value and then updated value, like always, instead of old. Initial, and then here we would say this, the timed out value is equal to updated value. And I would expect that this doesn't update. Yeah, let's keep that one. Let's say here this would be our timeout value. And inside here we do timeout value. And this shouldn't update, I guess. So we have the timeout value, which is initial value, 2 seconds pass. We could even put a console log just to make a sanity check that we also enter here. So 1, 2, here we are, right? So we basically entered here. It's amazing that you have the energy to Yes, yes. I mean, it costs some energy, right? But I think in the end it's fun. So the whole thing when I started streaming was also, I don't have like a lot of viewers. I still have videos that get a lot of view, but generally I have about, I don't know, 5, maybe sometimes 10 viewers or something. So that's not a lot. But I think that's also because I don't have a streaming schedule, so I stream pretty spontaneous. And I thought to myself, like, why not share it? Because I would anyway now try to explore this zoneless approach of signals, so I think it's cooler if I can even then share it. But yeah, I think a lot comes also from, a lot of energy is also there because it's kind of, if you really like it and if you're really passionate about something, then I think the energy is kind of there. So, okay, we have the initial value that's timed out, so it doesn't update, right? But the interesting thing is, if you would go here, and now what I do, I never go with private again, so maybe not never again, but currently I'm a huge fan of going the real private, the JS private. So I would say this is the CDR, and I inject the change detector ref, right? And then we say this CDR mark for check. And now we run 2 times and then we see how we get the updated value. So that means that the CDR mark for check still works. Yeah. I mean, those days I also have where you cannot look at another line of code. I get that. That's also why I kind of take streaming and the whole content creation a bit of as a hobby. There was a point where I started, or I felt like, okay, I have to push out videos. And now I'm at the point where I just do it because it's fun. And because also I'm now a YouTube partner with my channel, but yeah, the earnings are so low because you can basically say for each video that you click, for 1,000 clicks, you get like $1 or something. So that's like very low. So I get around $20 or something a month now with advertising. So that's not worth it. It's not worth the time and the effort, but I think it's also not the main reason for me is also not the money. It's more like to just share things. And I think I also have those days where I cannot look at the code anymore, and then it's cool to just do it for fun. So what I wanted to point out here is that if you have the set timeout, the mark for check still works. And if you do a normal update of a value, this doesn't work. But I would expect timeout signal value that this would then still work without the mark for check. But let's see. So it's equal to a signal, initial value, timeout signal value set, now initial value, so the signal value, yeah, we should also bind it to the template. That would make sense. So now, and you can see how it updates without the mark for check. So basically, whenever you have a signal that changes, then the change detection will run. Yeah. Okay, sorry, Inia, I just saw, I think I'm a bit delayed with the chat. Yes, right. I became a partner. I think I needed to reach 4,000 hours of watch time to become a partner. That's quite a lot, and it takes quite some time to get there. Because, right, 4,000 hours is quite a lot, because if I think about that, I'm watching this One Piece TV show. If you are on the stream more often, you probably know. But I'm watching One Piece since I'm a kid, like since I'm 10 or 12 years old. I have watched One Piece all the episodes. I'm now on episode 1000 something. And the thing here is, if I calculate like I'm curious. You see, that's 393 hours. And I think you have to go to YouTube partners 400 or something. $4,000. You see, that's a series with over 1,097 episodes that I watched since I'm 10 years old. And you need 4,000 hours to get YouTube partner. So that was quite a lot to get there. Hello, what's up? We are playing around with 18.5, not 18.5, 18 next 5 of Angular. And we are playing around with Zoneless change detection. So far what we've seen is we have seen that basically we can bind the old values, which is pretty cool. Like old values, I mean non-signal values. You can still bind in the template and it will get change detection if an event occurred or if you call mark for check. So if you have a set time on, you would call mark for check, that would still update, which is pretty cool because that means that because I initially thought that we need to go to signals so that the change detection runs. But if this is the case, that's pretty cool because I think it will work for most. Did you try hybrid mode? I'm not sure what you mean with the hybrid mode in here. So how did you turn off Zone? So basically what we did, we installed the latest version of the CLI, which is Angular CLI Next 3. Then Next 3 is the latest, but we needed Next 5 of Angular, so we just manually bumped the package here. So that's the first thing that you have to do. And then in the app config, you have to drop out, I don't know what the default is, provide zone something. So there was this one, provide zone change detection. And you just do provide experimental zoneless change detection. You drop that in. And another thing that you then do is inside the Angular JSON, you have to get rid of the zone.js polyfill, which is usually listed here. And then you are basically zoneless there. So, and that basically provides the no-op zone behind the scenes. Now, maybe what we could also try is, so we tried to mark for check, we tried something with an event. What else could we try? We even tried set timeouts with signals. What if we run something outside of the zone? Like, does a signal that runs outside of the zone, outside of the zone, we do not have any zone anymore. So that probably doesn't make sense. I think that's already kind of it. I also saw that they have, let me quickly check the chat. That's not version 17, Ralph. That's version 18 next 5. I think you can also turn it off somehow. In 17, at least in module-based, you can. I don't think there's an easy way. I've seen some people doing something with providers, but I don't think there's a super easy way with standalone components. Because with module-based, you could always do the no-op zone, but then you do not have an alternative, right? And you really have to call mark for check and mark for check. Basically, then you have to care yourself for change detection. You have to take care of yourself. So yeah. I also saw that they have something for tests that basically Let me check. It could break some tests, and if it breaks some tests, there is some helper. Wrong repo. I think they have this one. This change will be more likely to impact existing unit tests. They should usually be seen as more correct and tests should be updated. But in cases where it's too much effort to debug, the test can revert to the old behavior by provide zone change detection scheduling mode, ng zone scheduling mode, ng zone only. And I guess you can do that on the test bed. So that's cool. So basically they say, okay, maybe it breaks some cases and this will be super hard to debug in testing especially. And then you can just say, okay, we go to the old behavior so that we can move forward. Similarly, applications which may want to update state outside the zone. That one, to be honest, I don't really get that one. Nivik, regarding state management, can you make a stream on this subject comparing old NGRX store versus Signal store? I think I already had a stream on that. I think we had a stream on Signal store. We didn't really compare it to the NGRX store. I think Signal store is pretty cool. I only used it for small projects, not for bigger projects, but I see some downsides of the Signal store. Especially if you go into more complex scenarios. I, for example, had problems taking it apart. So I had like the Signal store and everything inside in one file basically. And it was not so easy for me to split it apart, which is maybe not even a big thing. But one of the things is then what we sometimes had, we had some core actions. So basically if you have different state slices and you have core actions which basically communicate between those state slices, because those are core actions, we did that as core actions. But I don't know how you will do this with the Signal store. I don't know if there's a concept for that. So I see it more like in some enterprise projects. I still see benefit in using the normal store, but that's my opinion. But I also haven't used the Signal store yet in a big project. So now it's a mode you do not traverse. Yeah, so basically internally, they still have this function which calls appref.tick. So you still, I think you still have to traverse. They are just marked for traversals. Like you still have to traverse the tree because you still calls appref.tick. Exactly. Top-down check-in is still there, marked earlier. Yes. Inside change detection scheduler. Okay. Linnea, since you are there, or maybe also somebody else on the stream, I'm not sure if I fully get this. Like applications which may want to update states outside the zone. So I guess this has to do with, because I'm now wrapping my hand around that if we use that, the app config, we are basically zoneless, right? From that point here. And now provide zone change detection. This one I'm not sure if I really understand this. Aha. Oh, it's the current behavior, that's what, okay. But then how is this meant to be used? Like this is the current behavior. How does this differ from provide zone change detection? Just wondering how this, you know, previously we had this one. So when you start a new Angular 18.5 project, you have provide zone change detection. That's this one, just a scheduling mode. ng zone only. Okay, let me see here. That's why I asked about. So if you update a signal outside the zone, but you are in zone change detection mode, it won't update. Yes. And because nothing is triggered, change detection, yes. But in V8 in the made hybrid mode, the default one. Oh, really? But that's not if I drop out, I guess. That's basically if I just would go with the default. So if I would go with default, let me check that. If I get that correct. So I would go to app component. I would basically say, okay, hashtag zone, inject ng zone. And then I do here in the site the constructor, this dot zone run outside Angular. I pass in this callback and I say whatever this dot non-signal value is equal to the new value. I get the new value, true. Okay. Okay. And now oh my god, the music is super aggressive. So I take the scheduling mode and that should basically prevent that update, I guess. Can I just pass this? Because change detection happens because yes, let me take away everything quickly. So let's see the non-signal value. We have the non-signal value here. We have it like this. So we only have zone, we have a non-signal value, and inside our template we have nothing else. And here we go back to how it was initially. And now we get the new value. I mean, yeah, we can do the set timeout, but that will just delay it, right? Initial value 2 seconds. Okay. But won't update, yes, yes. But how would this behave if this is a signal? Does it make a difference? Like if I do here. So if it's a signal, then it basically updates. Okay, and now, but I'm still not getting, that's what I would have expected, that it runs outside zone, that it doesn't update, but now, provide zone GGen. So this one even, how do I, to the providers in Bootstrap application. Yeah, so we go to provide zone change detection. I guess that comes from this is exported. Okay, cool. Nice, nice. Okay. Looks like it's not, yeah. Looks like it's not exported, but yeah. Okay, cool. I get the point. Thanks, Inia. I get it now. So basically, if I summarize this correctly, if you use V18 and you update a signal outside of zone, it will still get change detected. But if you would enable this, it would not. If that's correct. Yes, I will. Yeah, let's open an. I mean, let's open an issue. I think that's a good idea. New issue. Bug report. Description. With the new. But it seems like the is not exported. Please provide the environment. So we are using Angular CLIs. Free and I mean just Angular. Actually, the CLI here doesn't matter, so the important thing here is 18.0.0 minus next minus 5. Anything else? No. That's core. Cool. So, nice, we opened the bug. Yeah, looking forward to that. I mean, that should be an easy fix, right? That should probably be a one-liner. Actually, we could even do a pull request, theoretically. I don't know exactly. I mean, I sometimes search the Angular sources, but I guess if we would go. Oh my. Wasn't there this search? Repo Angular. But I guess it would be under packages, core. Yeah, there's the public API. But the public API probably just points to source. Source core. But probably it's under change detection. I would have expected something like core change detection providers. Zoneless scheduling. Change detection scheduler, I think that's the one that Inia mentioned. Yeah, I don't know where it is. I think the easiest would be to check it out and then I guess that would be the easiest. go to change detection, scheduler impl. I'm not sure where you see that. Change detection, scheduling. I'm not so good in navigate. Probably here. I can go to file, change detector. How did you call it? Scheduler. Detection. So that's a spec. So the search and finding hole. So if I just do it here, like change detection. Yes. Okay, cool. So that's the change detection scheduler. Notify, that's basically the function that probably does the refresh views. Scheduler. Here is the provide experimental zoneless change detection. That's the one that we were using, and you can see what it does. It provides the change detection scheduler, so this change detection scheduler impl, and it also provides the noob ng zone, noob or no op, and zoneless enabled, which is probably just an injection token or something. Yeah. Packages core, zoneless scheduling. Yes, perfect. So this is, yeah, Zinnia says this does all the zoneless magic. So maybe it would be cool then to also go through that and just explore it. But yeah, I think the takeaway is it's pretty cool that Angular has found a way to come up with a solution that for me the biggest takeaway is that we do not have to signalify first. So I think that's pretty cool that we can say we go zoneless even without having like fully signalified our applications. So I think that's pretty cool. So since mark for check works, I guess that the async pipe also works, because the async pipe under the hood just calls mark for check. So therefore it should also seamlessly work with observables still. And I think that's pretty cool. Really looking forward to this. And I guess in practice there will be some cases, especially also in the testing, but it's cool that they have the backwards compatibility thing. I'm still curious, like we will get zoneless, but then for me it would be cool to somehow really have some metrics, or because we just get it and I know that it's better, but I would also want to measure it somehow. So that would be cool to have. I mean, basically what you can do top level, we could have a function. Maybe that would be cool stream if, that could even with this case, it could be a cool stream if we build some application that runs some change detection, like quite often, and then we drop out of zone. And depending on the case, but yeah, those scenarios are always like built in a certain way, but it would be cool if we could find an existing application which is like mid-size or has some stuff in it, and we could then drop out of zone and inspect and check the differences. That would be maybe a cool stream. Left a comment on your issue, if I can still find it. Okay. Ignore changes outside zone. So, and that's something you provide then here as ng zone options. Yeah. Okay, cool. Nice. so good to have Nia on the stream. It's perfect. So, and now with that change, we should still, if I understood that correctly, we should not have 2 commas here. But now basically, let's check. So now with that change, what should happen is that this, since we run it outside zone, should not update. So we initial value, and it's good. Just as a sanity check. Here we are, so we get the console log. Looks nice. So, cool. Okay, and that's basically what you refer to as hybrid mode in IA, that you also update outside of zone. So that's, yeah. Okay, cool. Was not aware of this. Learned quite some things today. I think that's already everything I wanted to explore. So I think we are already through. So that was a fun, small, short stream, but I think it was cool. I'm really looking forward to this change. It looks cool. So yeah, I think that's it for today. So yeah, thanks everybody for joining the stream, and hope to see you soon. Thanks Inia for all the input. Thanks for everybody in the chat for writing. And I wish you all a great evening. Nice Wednesday, and hope to see you soon. See ya.